I just want to clarify a few videos I've done recently. Effectively, I've tried running before I'm walking. So I've got well ahead of myself in excitement. You know, I've always wanted to have a positive impact on the world. You know, it makes me feel good. And I've said that. And the reality is I've always said, even it's even documented in my books, like some of the things I want to do. Like I say, the impact I want to have. So as soon as I see potential in achieving that, like anything I do, I tend to want to get there rapid. Like do it now, do it now, do it now. So I spoke recently about the fact that look, I'm just coming out of a cycle of poverty, of struggle, you know, and I take ownership of that. I always say that, like it's self-inflicted to an extent because you know I work on my projects and I focus on that side of my life, and then I go back into traditional work, and it gives me a stable footing. And there's always this creative side that's just yearning to just express itself, you know. And it's like again, you end up living two worlds, and it's so hard to keep living like that, you know. You know, when you're not doing the traditional work, people then consider you lazy. You know, there's this ignorance to it. It's like people don't realize until you're successful, maybe you get recognition, fame, wealth. That's the only time you'll ever get recognized for it. Yet you've got these other authors who are doing the same thing, but because they have status and they're recognized, that's their job. So you just feel, of course, you know, look what they're doing. And some of us are doing the same thing. We just haven't been recognized for it. So again, you live in these two worlds. So when other people, for instance, go into traditional work, when they go home, they don't have to think about anything else. You know, you continue to plug away and do your things. It's exhausting over time, you know. So sometimes you do have to just pick a lane. And I will never give up on a dream. So there's times when you know it's a struggle. So yeah. So anyway, coming out of that, I recently had an interview which I've spoke about in other videos, and I'm due to start on Monday. There's a 3-month probation period. So these little things I'm figuring out as I go. I've already said that there's a period of 3 weeks where I'm with my daughter for the summer holidays. So it's turning out that won't be paid because of the 3-month probation period, which, you know, it's fair enough. It's not ideal, but okay. If that's the rules, that's the situation, you know. I'm not upset, but it's like that's £1,600 worth of money you've lost, you know. But like, if you put a value to anything, it's priceless spending time with my daughter, you know what I mean? So I'm not someone that would even consider that a burden. It's like whatever, you know, whatever the sacrifice is the sacrifice. I've done it since forever. You know, it's always been the case. It's always my priority. So you just take the hits, you know. But it is a huge loss, and it's going to have financial implications on me throughout July and August, and perhaps impact our time together a little bit in terms of like our freedoms, like what we're going to be able to do. And it is what it is. We're used to working within the constraints of finances anyway. But it would have been nice to have had, I think, just enough to really enjoy ourselves freely. But we'll see. But again, within previous videos, I spoke about wanting to be charitable. So like once I'm earning a sustainable wage, then I want to start giving a little to people who I feel need help or they're deserving. And not like huge amounts because I'm not wealthy, you know. I'm just like everybody else, you know. It's like, but other people, most people are just selfish with money. It's just the way people are, isn't it? They're greedy. You know, you see it all time and time again. People are just strange when it comes to money. So yeah, I want to do that. But again, it's this realization, and it's a quick realization because, like I said, I'm not going to get paid for the time. So I made all these ideas and these decisions before I found out I'm not going to get paid for the holiday, for instance. So there's a bit of a hindrance within that. So then I'm realizing that, you know, there's only going to be 2 wages because I get paid. It's weekly pay. It's permanent job, but weekly pay, which is ideal to get you through a situation. But effectively, there's only 2 wages in July, so it's half a wage, and only 2 wages in August because of the time with my daughter. So again, you're like handicapped for 2 months. It's like you're at a minimal amount to survive on and pay your bills, and it's just frustrating. Which then takes you through September. September's equalizing, really, get yourself into situations. So realistically, am I in a position at that stage to sort of be a messiah or someone to help other people? Not really. I'm still trying to get my own foot in, you know, because there's a realization that I need to, like I said before, you have to fill your own cup before you can help other people. I do have debts of my own. They're not substantial. I'm not like someone that's in an immense amount of debt like other people are. So although I've struggled, I've not got a huge lot of baggage behind me. So I've got like a credit card. It's only a recent credit card to rebuild my credit after a period of instability. So I only owe about £500 on that. It's not like the end of the world, you know. But it just seems a bit silly, really, thinking about it. Having things I need to take care of and not take care of it first. You know, I think it's really important I'm stable. So, you know, I'm definitely going to be helping people, but it's going to have to be when I've sorted things out. Like I've said before, I want £1,000 saved, because that's your baseline, and get the debts cleared. And I think then you're in a position where you can start looking to help people without it being a burden. Because there's no point me helping people while I'm still trying to figure my own stuff out. You know, it doesn't make much sense when I think about it. It's like you help someone there, but I've still got this debt hanging over me here, and it's like it's not really fixing the problem, is it? It's just keep putting a bandage over it. So we need to get stable, then we can help. And then by extension, I thought about it a bit deeper, just because, for instance, you know, I send my daughter pocket money every week, you know, so she can hang out with her friends, she can do stuff, go out. And like I said, I've been wanting to double it or, you know, increase it. So she gets £10 a week. Even when I'm struggling, I give her £10 a week, and I'm as consistent as I can. Not huge amounts of money, but, you know, I do the best I can. A lot of people don't get a lot of pocket money, do they? When I was earning a better wage a year and a half ago, I used to give her, she used to get £20 a week, even when she was younger and she didn't really need it. But, you know, she deserves it. But I want to get back to that £20 a week. So that I definitely want her to be having that. Again, she can save, she can decide if she wants to go and get herself like well, not necessarily a coffee, but, you know, like a coffee shop sort of thing. You know, she's got freedom to do that, and then other things as well. And I think it's good for her to help her manage money. She's 15. Yes, anyway, so I have to prioritize her too. So trying to take care of that. And then I want to be able to give her more things throughout the weeks. Like, for instance, today I was like, you know, because she lives with her mum. And I just said, do you fancy, did you want McDonald's? She goes, when have I ever said no to that? I thought that was funny. So she's ordered it at her end, and then I send her the money. So I don't want to be able to do things for her like that, you know, from a distance. It's like send her the pocket money every week, so she gets it on a Friday or Saturday, and then randomly every now and again just surprise her with something else. And I think, because I've said in the past, and I've said so many times, the people I want to bless in this life, I want to bless my daughter, of course, and my mum. My mum's been a huge support throughout my life, the only one that's really been there. And I've always said that when I'm doing well, I want to bless her. And I've said in another video that I don't want to wait until I'm doing really well in life. Once you start doing better than your previous circumstance, that's a good place to start. So I want to obviously support my daughter, give her more than she's had. She's been very patient. And then, of course, my mum, like I said, she sacrificed a lot for me, and it's about time that she was then rewarded. So, for instance, I was talking to her about going on holiday next year. And I said, I just want it, like, I don't want everybody else coming. I just want it, like, if I would just want it us, really. And, like, for instance, if my daughter was able to get a passport, because it's annoying as hell, like, it'd be nice if she could come as well. But either way, I don't want other family members to interfere, or, you know, I don't want all that shit. Just keep it simple. But then I was thinking after, it'd be nice, like, I need to obviously check my finances and see how the bills are once I've got the money coming in. Because until that's coming in, I can't really budget. But I would like to, this time, be able to pay for her, like just pay for me and my mum to go on holiday. And of course, if my daughter can come, pay for her as well. That'd be really nice, I think, for my mum. Like, she deserves that. No one really, she helps people, but no one really gives to her. And I've always wanted to, I've just not been able to. So, for instance, like when I had my better paying job, I took care of my mum with things. You know, I bought myself when the big craze was on for the Ninja air fryers, they were like £250. I wanted one, so I bought myself one, and then I bought my mum one. And then everyone at work was mocking me because they didn't really understand. They go, "Why the hell did you buy? Like, apparently you bought 2 air fryers. It cost you like £500." I was like, "Yeah." They thought I bought 2 for myself, but it's like, no, I bought my mum one, and I've got an air fryer. So I take care of my mum, and then I'd randomly ask, "Do you want McDonald's and things?" And we're a distance away, and I would just send it by her things. So I've not neglected my mum when I've been doing okay. I look out for her, you know. Others in the family not really like that. But I thought that'd be nice. Nice, I think, to be able to pay for a holiday. And then I started thinking like that, and I thought, yeah, I think it's really important I take care of those who have supported me first before I start reaching out and helping other people. You know, help those close to home first, who deserve that, and then help other people. So I think with that, I think that's fair. It's really fair. In my life, that is absolutely reasonable. So realistically now, unless I see something, because it doesn't mean that I can't help people along the way. If I see something and I feel really pulled to it, and I've got money spare, like a little bit spare, and it's like a GoFundMe or something. And I'm not really a big fan of all that, but sometimes you see like a heartbreaking thing and you think they need help. Then if I ever feel called to do it and I've got a bit of spare, then I can do that anyway. So it's not like I won't help throughout, but I'm not going to make it an obligation right now. So where I've spoke about helping people, that will likely be next year now. Like I want to go on holiday. I really want to go on holiday next year around the spring, April, May. I haven't been on holiday this year. It's really irritated me. I'm not going 2 years without holiday, no chance. So I want to go on holiday April, May, get that planned, sort that out, and then I think going into the back end of next year, I think really summer and beyond, then I can start looking. Once everything's stable, once I got stability, then I can start really looking out to help other people, and I hope I can, especially if my book's selling things, because that's two incomes. Then you've got a stable job that's like 34 grand a year, which is really good for the industry and logistics. And then any money I get from my books and audio books and things, that allows me a little bit more freedom, and then that means I can help other people too. So I'm not interested in just hoarding money and seeing the world suffer, But again, it has to start with self. Like, for instance, the fact that the job is a 3-month probation period, which most jobs do, it would be really naive, I think, to consider it stable income until you've passed your probation period. So I think it's just more sensible to sort of take care of some debts and get that £1,000 saved for your stability. And then from there, you can look forwards. So once the 3-month probation period's up, then I can start looking at the holiday for spring. Because you can start planning ahead a little bit more then, can't you? And like I said, it'd be really nice to treat my mum, and it'd be really nice for my daughter to finally have a holiday abroad. But, that's not in my hands, unfortunately, at the moment. It's frustrating. But like I say, I think at the end of the day, if I was ever going to bless anyone, it was always going to be my mum and daughter first, I think. So, again, I think I was trying to run before I'm walking, and I think it's just not practical at the moment. You know what I mean? Because if I start overcommitting myself, not being funny, but I said finances are tight. I've got to get it all evened out, and then before you know it, you've got Christmas coming anyway. My daughter's said I've done the best I can at Christmases, but this year, obviously, if I'm doing better, I want to give us more. So yeah, of course, fundamentally, we have to take care of our children and things before we can do anything else. But I don't want that to be sort of like a thing to maybe make other people just stop. If anyone was ever thinking of helping someone else, we're not here to copy each other. It's like go at your own speed and do what you feel you can do. So if you've had stability for a longer period of time and you're in a position where you can help people, then by all means, But of course, you have to be of service to yourself. But there's no point in people just copying me. Is my point. Like just because waiting for me to do something and then find that's a good time to do it. It's like that's really just copying. I don't know what that is. That's just mirroring and trying to replicate. It's just that's not authentic. It's like do it because you want to do it. That's the thing. You want to help people, do it because you want to help people. Don't do it because someone else is doing it. Because it's like because some people do that. Maybe they see where my ambitions in life, and maybe they think if they mirror something I'm doing, then maybe it gets them in a similar place in life, and they can sort of think, oh, then that's a good idea. You're doing it for the wrong reasons, It's like my path is not someone else's path, And just because it's something that I'm passionate about doesn't mean it's necessarily beneficial to a journey in a sense of success, recognition, or anything. Because I'm not doing it for that reason. So if you're doing things for the sole reason of recognition and to gain, you're not really doing it for a sincere reason, Anyway. It's not for me to judge other people's journey, like what people do with their life. Again, our lives are our own. It's just like what gives meaning, purpose to your life, fulfillment. Because you find a lot of people are lost, and it's because they detach from humanity and reality for the most part, and it's sad, isn't it? Effectively, you think it's a bit like where everyone thinks the grass is greener on the other side. So naturally, you think, you know what, I'm not happy. I want to move abroad. You move abroad, you've got the same issues in a different country. It's just a different geography, different environment, but it's still the same. Everyone still has the same problems. Like when you go on holiday, it's easy to think, oh, this is paradise. Well, it's paradise because you're not thinking about all the problems you have in your everyday life. You're literally away from it in a moment that's more of a fairy tale. But if you brought your reality into this situation, you would find that that's a hard life too. Because you don't know the laws, you don't know how employment works, you don't know all the taxes and all these things that you have to sort of contribute to. You don't know the cost of living and all that, the discrepancy between the earning wage and the bills. So some countries it may seem paradise, but actually, if you was to work there and try to build a sustainable life, you realize it's actually far from paradise. Um, so it's often where we build is important. But like I say, it's just sometimes people they think something's going to heal a situation, and it's not necessarily what's going to heal it. So, for instance, if you think all the material stuff, you have ambitions to have all this. That's why you see a lot of people. They turn to try not to say the word substances. They turn to substances to help them through a period, because literally, even if they get fame or they get plenty of money and things like that, if it's not from a grounded situation, it's like they feel lonely, empty. There's a void missing, and it's not sustainable. So with someone that is grounded could do with those opportunities, because it would help uplift them and they would actually enjoy it. Other people, they're still lost. And it's because they just haven't found meaning in their life. If those people who really were genuinely lost and are having to use substances just to give them a euphoria for now, just to give them a sense away from the suffering, what they don't realize is if they did genuine acts of kindness, it would make them feel good. But they don't think that far ahead. They just keep thinking about themselves. But if you actually think, you know what, I'm not, even if in that case, if you think, you know what, I'm not happy at the moment, it's like, right, okay. There's obviously many reasons as to why you might not be happy. But at the very minimum, if you maybe focus at the moment on maybe trying to help other people, that would actually make you feel better about yourself, and then by extension, your mood lifts. And then, you might find a bit more direction in your life. It's actually helpful, isn't it? But, like I say, most people just miss the point in life, I think. But like I say, I think, what they call it, charity starts at home, but very select home. I've already set boundaries with everybody else. I'm not helping anybody else in my family. They've never supported me. They've not been there, even though they might pretend they have, or on the moments they look like they do. And it's like, you really haven't. So the only ones I'm helping is my mum and my daughter. And then after that, it's like within that stability. And then going into next year, start looking to help other people. And that'd be really nice. I think that'd be a nice, life well lived. But of course, I do have to check how much this would cost for a holiday, because I'm slightly nervous. Because if it's too expensive, I can't obviously pay it, can I? But it would be a nice thing to be able to do for her. Anyway, that's my little update.